Sorry. Okay. So if you could, so if you, okay.
I literally passed out in a stretcher, and my intern clicked a picture of that and showed it to me later. I'd say ragging was pretty intense. We used to sleep in our formal wear.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, we can't lock our doors because they would barge in at any time. Imagine you looking at your first button and walking completely bowed down like this. So this is how you're supposed to walk in the hostel. So I go this way and looking here and then going, and then a senior comes. You didn't wish me, and I'm like, I can't even see you, bro. I was looking down and I got a slap for it. You didn't wish me, and 2 days later, I saw the same guy from a distance. I saw him coming, so I decided today I'll wish him for sure. So I was doing this and I saw him and I was like, "Good afternoon, sir." He slapped me again, and then he's like, "You were looking at your first button. Then how did you see me coming?"
Oh my God.
There used to be people fainting, "Oh, today he's gonna faint," and he'll faint and we'll be like, "Huh, come, let's go." Suddenly he walks in and there's a stretcher being pulled in, and there's a patient with no leg, and then there was a guy behind who brought the leg on a banana leaf, and then he's showing me, "Sir, here is the leg." My friend was there and he fainted. Yeah, so I was I told the sister, the nurse, take care of my friend, I will see this patient, and then he had to be taken care of.
Today was hands down the most interesting podcast that I've ever shot with a doctor. Dr. Vignesh has literally changed the entire stereotypical picture of what we could imagine for a doctor. He is literally the most interesting and the most fun doctor you'll ever come across. He shed light on so many of his personal and professional experiences that are really intriguing and worth listening to. So do watch this podcast till the end and share it with at least one person who might find value in it. And do share this video and subscribe to the channel so that we feel even more motivated to provide you with greater quality content. So let's get into the video. Hi Dr. Vignesh, how are you doing today?
Hi Anshika, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all good. Thank you so much. Really happy to have you here on the podcast today, and thank you so much for flying all the way from Chennai for this one.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine. I'm happy to be here and be part of your show. It's my first time, so yeah, I hope it's a casual conversation.
Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah.
Just wait for it. Okay. Yeah. So first I would like to ask you a bit about yourself. Tell us more about yourself. How were you at school? How did you choose this profession? Did you have any perceptions about the medical field beforehand, and did it change over time?
So yeah, back in school, I never thought I'd be a doctor in the first place. So like every young kid, the moment I hear the word doctor, I used to be scared of doctors because I used to be scared of injections and my parents taking me to a doctor. But then now I am operating and being a surgeon, so it's surreal. The entire journey has been. I used to be into a lot of sports, and I thought I wanted to be a tennis player, so I was playing tennis. I thought I'll be a professional, but then we make choices and just chose biology and then ended up being a doctor. I think the subject interested me a lot, and as I grew up and I saw experiences around me, the amount of impact that doctors can have on lives and the way the change they can bring about, it affected me in a very positive way. So I decided if I choose a career, I want to practice medicine. Yeah, that's how I'm here.
Would you like to tell us more about your journey of becoming a doctor? How is it like to be a resident? People often say that residency is hell and doctors are so overworked. So please tell us more about that.
Right after 12th standard, you get into medical college, you're all excited, okay, I'm going to be a doctor, stuff. The initial years are just you mostly studying theory. You just don't get, you don't see patients as a doctor. You are a student, you learn the basics. So, I had a great time learning medicine because I enjoyed the subjects. I was really passionate about medicine. So the initial 4 years, it was more of studying, and then we used to go for our clinical posting. We used to go to the hospital and see cases, but not treat them. Okay. So internship is when I realized the real doctor life starts. So in internship was hectic. Let's just say it was hectic. It was just ward sleep. It was just that. I don't even remember doing anything else. But it taught me a lot. So I really owe it to that, like the amount of exposure I got and the amount of experiences I saw when I was doing my internship. So that was really helping me out later in residency as well. So we used to have a lot of duties. We used to have these 24-hour duties, 48-hour duties. There have been instances of me sleeping in a stretcher right after a surgery.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, so I actually have a picture of it on my phone, during my first year of residency. So they were like, it was my emergency duty. It was a 24-hour duty, and at the end there were like a couple of surgeries, and then I was too gone. I literally passed out in a stretcher, and my intern clicked a picture of that and showed it to me later, and then I realized. So yeah, but looking back at it, it's all fun. Like I'm not saying this is what I wanted to do, and this requires all that. This requires those hours, and those hours which I put in, like seeing patients, working with them, doing surgeries, has really helped me out, like where I am. So it was a fun experience. It was a great experience.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Is it true that once you choose MBBS, you are literally stuck for the next 12 years? Because it's also true that, okay, there's so many advancements, technological advancements, and there's so much competition happening. So doctors literally have to study all through their lives and keep on upskilling themselves. And also, there was a study that I was reading about that 80% of medical students actually end up regretting their decision as soon as they reach their third year.
Yeah, I think competition is there in every field. Like you take any field, there's competition everywhere.
Yeah.
So even technology for that matter, not just medicine. Like I agree, in medicine we need to keep updating about latest surgeries, latest techniques and procedures and advancements in medical science. But it's true for an engineer as well. It's true for all professions. Like imagine people were working with a computer, operating internet and stuff, and searching search engines and Google. Now they use ChatGPT. There's artificial intelligence now. There's blockchain now, which are like new technologies emerging. And like if you want to like go forward or take the next step, I think it's required in every field. Like so I think competition is not the deal breaker here. So I think it all depends on what's your passion and where it lies. If you're happy doing whatever you're doing, so the entire learning will be smooth, because you will want to do it. Like you will want to upscale yourself, and it's like that's what you want. You won't do it because it's necessary or it's needed or people want you to have it. It'll be like you want it. Like I want to learn. You will be inquisitive of what you want. So that's where I think that comes into play. And regretting being a doctor, never. I don't think so. So I know the reason I got in for, and I'm really happy being here. I have no complaints being a resident right now, a practicing doctor. The amount of gratitude and satisfaction I get, it's truly unbelievable, unparalleled. I don't think any other profession could give me that satisfaction personally. Like somebody else might be happy doing what they're doing, but for me, I think this is where my happiness lies. So yeah, all these regrets of being a doctor, but each one's different. Like they chose and different paths later. But yeah, as you said, in third year, that's when you approach the clinics, you start going to the hospital, you see patients. So then you decide, so what specialty interests you, or do you want to deal with patients? So this is a field where you meet new people every day, meet different emotions, make different connections with people. So you're not interacting with machines here, or you're not interacting, it's a two-way thing here. So somebody who wants it, who loves it, who enjoys doing it, will continue to do so. And if you take me 10 years back now, if you'd ask me if I do the same thing, I'll still do the same thing. So yeah.
Awesome. So as you all know, medical school is also really famous for its culture, that it's got a really wild culture. So would you like to tell us any ragging stories?
So yeah, ragging, that's a pretty sensitive thing to talk about. Yeah, looking back at it, it was a pretty long time ago, but it feels so fresh, like it just happened yesterday. So it was intense. Like I'd say ragging was pretty intense. Because we were kids, like 17-year-olds, just entering college with expectations of a huge college life that they portray in movies, like the way how college life is supposed to be. And then here you enter the medical college and reality hits you. So the way it is first year, because it's very unsettling in the first year, you're just new here, and then whatever happens is pretty unsettling. Like, and I did not know anything about medical college or anything. It's my first hand experience. I have no doctors in my family.
Okay.
So there was nobody to tell me this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. So I was just there. I did not even know. We had to call our seniors as sir. So I called my senior as Anna, which means Bhaiya in Hindi, and I got slapped for it. Yeah, immediately. And then like, I'm not your Anna, call me sir. And I'm like, okay, okay, sir. Yeah, and then they used to ask my name, and I used to be like Vignesh, and then again a tight slap, and then like, tell me your full name. It's S Vignesh Raj, and then they ask my dad's name, and I'm like Sai Raj again, and then now what? And then they're like, don't you respect your dad, Mr. Sai Raj? Yeah. So yeah, we used to have all these let's say interesting stuff we had to do. So we weren't allowed to wear t-shirts or shorts or anytime. Like, we used to like sleep in our formal wear.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, we can't like lock our doors because they would barge in at any time, the seniors, and they'd check if you're sleeping in the formal wear. Yeah, and yeah, you might end up getting beaten up for it. So I wouldn't risk it. So I did not risk it. And then suddenly my friends from other fields, they used to call me, and they used to be like, hey Vignesh, there's so much ragging here. And I'm like, oh seriously, do you have ragging as well? And they're like, what ragging? They're asking me to sing. And I'm like, wow, sing bro. If they're asking you to sing. Here we're like literally getting tossed. And then that used to be funny, but medical college culture was different. Yeah, so we used to go on a lot of night outings. Like, I've been to like 72 night shows. I just counted. I watched movies on repeat again because I did not want to stay in the hostel in the night. So it was a pretty tough period. But like,
when did you study?
The last 2 months, I guess. The last 2 months, because I don't remember. We used to be up all night. It was a different experience altogether. So, but I used to know every senior's name, every senior's room number. Yeah, we had to know that. And then, so there's this, so imagine like you looking at your first button and walking. So that's how we were supposed to walk inside the hostel.
Like completely bowed down.
Yeah, completely bowed down like this. So this is how you're supposed to walk in the hostel. And you're supposed to greet a senior when he comes. You're supposed to say good morning, good evening. That's how you greet them. So I was entering the hostel from the college after class. So I go this way and looking here and then going. And then a senior comes and he calls me, you didn't wish me. And I'm like, I can't even see you, bro. Like, you were right off. I was looking down. I could only see my button. And I got a slap for it. Like, you didn't wish me. And like 2 days later, I saw the same guy from a distance. I saw him coming. So I decided today I'll wish him for sure. So I was doing this and I saw him and I was like, good afternoon, sir. And then he called me. He slapped me again. And then, why is that? Like, he's like, you were looking at your first button. Then how did you see me coming?
Oh my God.
So the intention was the same. Like, no matter what you do, they don't just like, I was like, just don't give me a reason. Just do whatever. But just don't give me a reason for it. Yeah, so that was the way it went. But we were all in it together. So it was a period like 6-7 months. And yeah, we really couldn't like stand out and I wouldn't say back then complain or go against. Because to be honest, you'd be treated as an outcast with your own batchmates. Like, the way they'll treat you, they literally make you an outcast there.
Okay.
So it'll be like, just hold on for another 6-7 months. Yeah, and then, but trust me, after the 6-7 months of ragging, there's a day when they say ragging is done.
Okay.
And then the next 2-3 months were like too good. Like, those seniors who ragged me like that, they were literally like my brothers. Like till date, yeah. So what they do is an interesting thing in my college. So they used to be like 70-75 of us, and they used to allot a senior for each of us.
Okay.
Yeah, for the last 2 months. Because they're like, we have not let you study for all these months, now we will teach you.
Wow.
Yeah, so they'll allot a senior for us. So I was allotted a senior. He used to literally be with me for like 2 months, just sit with me all the time. He used to bring me breakfast, bring me lunch, bring me dinner. He used to be like, you be in the room, you study. And then he taught me the entire syllabus. like day by day, like every day he used to come sit next to me and teach me.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and
really
then
heartwarming.
yeah, do whatever I want. I would be like, I'm gonna sleep now, wake me up at 4 a.m. He'd stay up all night and he'd wake me up at 4 a.m. and then go to sleep because he wanted me to study. Yeah, it's more like a brotherly love which I can't even explain in words. I felt it, and yeah, it was really different. I learned more from my seniors than from my from my professor, I'd say, like, because we view seniors like that. We view them with so much respect. We mean the sir that we call them. Yeah, he was literally like my sir, like guiding me, guided me through everything, because they've the ones who like went through it recently, my immediate seniors.
Yeah.
They gave the exam just now, so they know, they would be able to relate to it more and relate to my mindset more as well, because they face the same thing year after year. So they were guiding me through, and we used to go to the exam hall. So 150 of us was our strength. 300 people used to go. My senior used to come with me. He used to be with the book. He used to be teaching me, okay, do you remember this? Do you remember that? I was like, wow, okay. It used to be 300 people going in. They used to send all of us wishing good luck. And yeah, and I still remember during the day of my exam, I was really sick. So, I did not feel like eating also. And I still, my senior brought me breakfast. I was like, sir, I can't. I feel very pukish. I feel like puking. And then he was like, wait, and then suddenly he went somewhere, and then he went to a nearby shop, he got me a juice, and then he's like, drink this, like, no, you can't go empty stomach to the exam. And then I was so tired, like, he's helping me with my shoes and stuff, and I was like, this is the guy who ragged me like crazy, and look at him now. And then he's taking me to the exam hall, and then he's going to the invigilator, and he's giving my hall ticket, and he's giving I forgot my medicine. I was not feeling well, and then he ran to my hostel room. He was getting me the tablet and the cough syrup, and he gave it to the chief invigilator. He told, this is roll number 149's. He's feeling sick, just take care of him, madam.
How sweet.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then when we come out, they're all there. So they just take the question papers from us, they tear it, and then they're like, go study, because they don't want us to discuss and think about the previous exam. Just move on to the next one. Yeah, so they were like, yeah, go ahead, go to the room, just study. You go sleep, I'll come wake you up, I'll bring you food, and then we'll learn together. So the bonding used to be insane. Yeah, where the senior-junior relationship, I still am in touch with them, my seniors, and I really look up to them. Yeah, so overall it's been a good experience, let's say. Yeah.
Definitely. This is amazing. Okay, so it's quite a perception that doctors actually smoke and drink a lot. Is it because of the pressure? First of all, tell us if it's true or not. And also, we've heard that there's a lot of information or misinformation regarding a lot of drug use in medical colleges. Do you think it really stands true?
Yeah, I guess releasing stress, the concept of releasing stress, I think everybody has something to deal with one way or the other. So not just a doctor, like even an IT professional, even an auditor, even an accountant, even a lawyer, everybody has their own stress, fair kind of stress to deal with, and it ultimately depends on how you deal with them. So when people go for all these temporary pleasures like smoking or drinking, so it becomes a habit, and you get so, that's how addiction starts developing. In college, I think it's more on the people you surround yourself with. So the route where it all starts is the hostel, where there are a bunch of people together and you are influenced by the other person. Like somehow, one way or the other, you're ultimately influenced by that person. So when you surround yourself with people who like deal with stress differently, like people who like go take up a sport, they're playing some sport, they do dances, they're in dance clubs, they sing, they jam in hostel rooms. There are different kinds of people in a hostel. Like you can see people jamming to music in a room, having their own jam session. You can see people dancing, you can see people gaming and stuff. Everybody has their own stuff to deal with. So it all depends on all these dopamine releasing activities which you do. It depends on the circle you surround yourself with and the values you hold as well. So and then regarding drugs, yeah, it's not like doctors use drugs a lot, and like, yeah, I've had my non-medico friends come ask me that they want get me this drug, give me this drug as if I'm a peddler, because they think I have access to it, so I can just get it for them. Yeah, but it doesn't happen that way. So, and yeah, it's as I said, like during exam, if somebody wants to like relieve stress, you can rather take a bike ride or a long drive and deal with it, rather than like smoking or getting drunk. So technically it just doesn't solve the problem or the stress. It just like delays it. Like maybe you're drinking tonight, you wake up in the morning, you'd have to deal with it in a delayed way. The next day you'd have to deal with it the next day. It's not going away. Yeah, so I don't think it's an ideal way to deal with stress. Like I'm not against doing all that. Like they can have their share of fun, but it shouldn't be a way that they deal with stress. It shouldn't be like I'm stressed, so I'm drinking. I'm stressed because I'm smoking. That's the reason. So I don't think that's the way it should be. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense completely. So now on a more serious note, I would like to understand what goes behind in your mind while performing a surgery. Has there been an instance where something went wrong during the surgery, or how does it feel when you actually lose a patient on the table, and how do you deal with that trauma? How do you cope up with it?
So yeah, it's like let's say it's like a double-edged sword, like the entire profession. The amount of satisfaction you get out of saving somebody's life. So you'd have to deal with the other part as well. When you lose someone, I think you should like learn to cope with it as well.
Has there been an instance where you felt guilty for not being able to save the person?
I wouldn't say guilty. Like, to be honest, like whenever I started doing this profession, I've been doing with the utmost passion. And I don't think I would have. I feel guilty. It's like ultimately all of us are humans. Like we do our best. Like this is what you do. You did your best, but still you couldn't do it. There is something beyond all this as well. Like beyond our medical intervention and everything. So I'd attribute it to a lot to the willpower of the patient, and a lot of factors come into play here. So as doctors, I think we do our best that's possible, and the rest is we just leave it up to them. Like,
has there been any instance wherein something panicky or something really scary happens during a surgery or throughout your journey? Like, have you ever seen anyone faint in front of you, any of your co-workers, or has it happened to you ever?
Yeah, it's the interesting story is like when we were in our first years. So every day morning we used to go to the anatomy dissection hall, where we used to dissect cadavers, like bodies, like dead bodies, and learn. That's how you learn anatomy of the patient. Like, and so I used to be so excited to go. Like I really wanted this. I wanted to study. I was very curious about what's where, what's what. Like it was so new to me, and I really enjoyed it. Like I wanted to do it. But when we all entered the dissection hall, but like I was so curious to do it, and then I see people like just suddenly people like nauseous about the smell, and then seeing that they couldn't like take it. So I remember during the entire first 2 weeks, there used to be people fainting, like and me and my other friend, we used to be like, oh, we're gonna learn, and then we used to see people fainting. We used to be like, oh, today he's gonna faint, and he'll faint, and we'll be like, come, let's go, and then we'll console him. So yeah, that was fun. And then I guess all of us like got used to it. Like on an everyday basis, you have to see that. So we got really used to seeing patients as well later, not just cadavers. And then regarding fainting, there have been instances because some surgeries, like they tend to be long as well. So there's an interesting story. So my friend had come from Mumbai to surprise me, and it was he who ended up getting shocked in return. So I was in my casualty duty. There was emergency trauma duty that I was taking care of, and there were a lot of cases. It was a busy time, and it was a government setup as well. So there used to be a lot of road traffic accidents and stuff which are brought along. And then so he gives me a call saying, I wanna like see you right now, and I'm just gonna see you and leave. And I'm like, okay, wait, I'll just come out. I'll just come out and see you. But he's like, no, 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 I gotta like, I'll just come say hi. I wanna see you. And I was like, okay, fine. Like, yeah, I'm in the casualty. Suddenly he walks in, and there's a stretcher being pulled in, and there's a patient with no leg. The leg it was a crush injury. There was no leg.
Oh, God.
And I was asking the attenders who were coming along with the patient, like, where is the leg? And then there was a guy behind who brought the leg on a banana leaf. And then
Oh
he's
my
showing me,
God.
sir, here is the leg. And yeah, I was like, I just saw it, and then my friend was there, and he fainted. Yeah, so I was like, I told the sister, like the nurse, like, take care of my friend. I will see this patient, and then he had to be taken care of, and this also had to be taken care of. So at times I realized, like, oh, who's the normal one or who's the abnormal one here? Like, because I guess we get used to seeing this, and like a lot of cases like this. And that guy, after that, yeah, we added in our friends group saying, never surprise Vignesh, like he'll always pull a reverse on you. So that's how it is. So
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, since being a doctor is a really demanding job, and there's just so much pain and so much sadness around you all the time, has there been any instance where your personal life got affected because of your professional life?
That's a pretty good question, and yeah, actually, it's a very thin line between your professional and personal life, because yeah, I'm remembering an incident here again. So once I was working during COVID. I was working as a duty doctor in a hospital in Chennai. So I was on a 24-hour shift that day. And it was my birthday that night. Yeah, so I was in the hospital taking care of COVID patients, doing whatever I could. And that time, yeah, so, and there was my friends at 11:45. They were calling me. They were out there outside the gate. They were so excited. They came to surprise me. They were like, bro, we are outside and all that. That time, suddenly I saw a patient. I was monitoring a patient very closely. And we lost that patient, a very young patient, due to COVID. The second wave was pretty intense. And then I had to declare death at that time. So I had to go talk to the attenders, and I had to take care of some formalities that had to be done. So that time my friends were constantly calling me, and then they didn't understand like what I was up to. So I had to tell them, listen, I'm declaring a death right now. Don't call me. I'll get it done, finish it, and come back down. So they were like, okay. And then I see the patient, I speak to the attenders, I tell them like, yeah, we did our best, which we did. And then I tell the sister as well, I sign the death form and everything. And then I go downstairs, and I'm so happy to see my friends. My friends are here like for my birthday. They're there, and I'm all excited, like, oh, and they're all very silent. And then they're asking me, you just declared a death, how can you be happy? And yeah, then it kind of struck me, like, so if I had to let that affect me, I just can't have a personal life in the first place.
Definitely.
So it's a very thin line. And even if I had the worst case, and even if I'd saved that patient, I would have reacted the same way seeing my friends. And even if this happened, and I'd react the same way. So that if you really need to differentiate, otherwise it will take a toll on your mental health. So I make sure that this doesn't
Are you for real?
Yeah, like I guess this happened over a period of time. Yeah, initially there used to be times where I used to be emotionally affected, like seeing losing patients and stuff. And yeah, it got to me. I made it get to me, like, and then it really clouds your judgment, like when you get emotional about a patient, like, and suddenly you'll have the next patient to take care of. So you do your best, you do your ultimate best, there's no compromise on that. But ultimately, if you end up losing the patient, you just got to move on and like go to the next patient and treat the next patient the same way you'll treat a fresh patient. Like just start fresh, have a like clean slate, clean mind, like just erase everything and just go there. because if you keep thinking about it again and again in your brain, it'll really affect whatever you're doing for the subsequent case.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Completely makes sense. Now, I'd like to know the most superstitious thing a patient has said to you, or any myth that you would like to debunk as a doctor.
Yeah, we like deal with a lot of superstitions on a day-to-day basis. They just like surprise us like with new bouncers every day. Like so, we had like an emergency surgery we had to do in a leg, and then there was this uncle, and he was accompanied by his wife. So they were brought, and then I told them like you have to get the surgery done, and then so I had to get the parts prepared. So you have to do a surgery, so they'd have to shave your leg so that there's no hair for the surgery to happen. And then the auntie comes up to me, is like, no, today is Tuesday, you should not cut hair today. So we're not going to do the surgery today. I was like, auntie, what's wrong with you? And then I had to convince the auntie, like because I knew what would happen if we didn't do it that day. Yeah, but I had to explain it to her though, because she was so adamant. Like for a long time, it took a lot of convincing, but I scared her a bit with quoting uncle's consequences, and like I had to get it done. Yeah, and there is superstition and lack of awareness as well and there is a stigma towards like going visiting doctor. At times they'll be like, oh, we'll be fine, this is just a small cut, small wound. So in my this was again in my orthopedics residency right now. A guy who was working in a village, so he had a wound, he had a cut when he was working in his leg. So they decided that they'll just like, I don't know what kind of treatment that is, like they just put sand in it, like filled it. It's supposed to heal or whatever they felt it was. And yeah, he was going ahead working with that. And then like 1 week later he comes with fully a gangrene and stuff, and we had to literally amputate the leg.
Oh God.
Yeah, what would have been like a simple treatment had he come earlier, just a dressing and a suture, he ended up losing his leg. So yeah, I think like this awareness has to go to more people as well. And I believe it's very approachable here in our country as well, healthcare. Like you want to see a doctor now, you can immediately come see a doctor in a health setup like government or private or anywhere you can. Because I have heard from my friends who live in the UK and Canada, everywhere else, to get an appointment even for anything, it took them so long.
I'd like to share the story. So I was studying abroad for my graduation, right? And we were like a group of 10 friends. We had gone to London, so it was our first official trip. First official university trip, okay? So it was a Sunday night and we got stuck in the elevator. Like 8 of us got stuck in the elevator, and one of our friends was actually asthmatic. And it was a Sunday night. We were trying to call the manager, we were trying to call the lift technician. Nobody was picking up our phones. We called the NHS, like, which is the health facility there. And they asked us like 20 questions first, and then they were like, okay, the team might reach you. It might take at least an hour for the team to reach you. And then we called the police. The police was like, okay, we're coming. They were a little alert, and they reached in like half an hour. And the friend was like, he almost went unconscious. He was telling all these emotional things to us. He was like, please tell my mom that I really love her and all of that. And then we were basically stuck between 2 floors. Okay, so they had to literally pull us out, and he had to be given shocks, like, because he went all unconscious, and it was really bad. So actually the system there is really pathetic. My friend once got a sprain in her leg, and she had to wait 3 months to get physiotherapy appointment.
Oh God. Yeah.
Imagine, it's that bad.
So I have no complaints about that here, like the availability. I agree. The thing is the doctor-patient ratio though, because how many ever doctors come out of our country, we are a very populated country. So the doctor-patient ratio is a little skewed. Like it's very hard, like the proportion of doctors per number of patients is comparatively less. Still, that's why the workload is more. But otherwise, when it comes to accessibility and affordability, I think we're doing pretty good. Like
Yeah,
we're doing really great.
definitely,
Yeah.
yeah.
There was this boy who was brought with snake bite. We were asking which snake was it, and this guy who came from behind and opened a bucket. He's like, "This is the snake," and the snake is hissing around everywhere. Putting on the glove, and then I see her arm; it's full of cuts. I asked her, "Is your hand a carrot?" Like she says, every time I fight with my husband, I cut my hand. Yes.